So in celebration of all the football that we are enjoying right now, curling, that you're enjoying right now, let's talk about the game day plan for networking.
Oh, I love game day. This is going to be good. I'm pumped up.
It will be. All right. So here's what you can expect in this episode. So in the next few minutes, this is what we're going to address because you need this. A good coach never wins a game without this. So why do we need a game plan?
Very important to the success of the team.
That's right. Rob's game day tactics.
Yes.
All right. So I know you got your plan together. My game plan tactics. And then we're going to talk about, I've found some fascinating lists. One of these includes Lou Holtz.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're going to talk about these lists and what is the commonality amongst these lists, because if there's only one thing you take away, it's going to be that common thread. All right. So welcome to Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster. And I am Sheryl Powers. I've trained thousands of entrepreneurs on how to be better networkers.
And I'm Rob Bliss, and I've 10x my business because of my networking strategies.
That's right. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. That's so meaningful
down
to us.
below.
Yeah, we have a lot of people watching.
Yes.
But we want to see who's watching, right? Hit the little thumbs up.
Yeah.
Right. So thank you. And subscribe, please. So diving into the conversation,
I'm ready.
I love football. You love curling. Is there another sport that you love?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Okay. Well, when it becomes like a major sport, like actually on television, we'll talk
I'm a
more
big
about
tennis
that.
player too.
That's right. But either way, right? Sports analogies are always great analogies because they take a plan.
Yeah.
There's no way that in pickleball and curling, certainly football, you get out on the field, you get into the court without actually training and having a game plan that helps you win that game.
Well, you know, Sheryl, it goes back to the fact that this is why I love football for the analogy, is the fact that, you know, how much time do they spend in the classroom?
Yeah.
How much time do they spend watching film? Yeah. It's way more than actually practicing on the football field itself. And then we got to apply, and we're going to talk about it today, about your networking plan.
Yeah, and don't be a hater, but I'm a huge Cowboy fan. I had season tickets for a dozen years. I love, but I learned so much when I was at CBS, and we learned, like, we carried the Cowboys, and we learned so much about the team. So that's why I'm such a fan about this. So why do we need a game plan? This is what Lou Holtz says, and you know who Lou Holtz is, right?
Well, yeah, you know, he was famous for Notre Dame. He was famous for University of Minnesota.
Yeah. He was North Carolina, I think, wasn't he?
One of the could have been South Carolina. I can't remember. One of the Carolinas.
Yeah,
but Notre Dame, I think I always remember Lou Holtz as
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Me too. And CBS analyst. And he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, of course. Yeah. So I have to give a little nod when he says something. So this was a quote that came from him. What do football and networking have in common? Without a well thought out game plan, you'll never score in the big game of life.
Oh, that's excellent.
I know you're all about stuff like that.
Oh,
you eat it up.
Oh, that is so cool.
Peanut butter and jelly, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
So I absolutely love that I came across this, right? He's got 10 steps to an effective networking plan, right? And so this was interesting, making a broad list of people that you know and networking contacts you'd like to make. So he goes into, right? So this is a game day tactic that we hadn't really thought about.
Right.
Who do you know? Who would you like to know? And let's make a list of all those contacts. Categorize those contacts. Best to meet in person, best to do online, best to go to an event and meet.
Right.
Before you meet those people, go, and you mentioned this about watching game day film in advance of the game.
Right.
Do your homework. So what's homework quickly? What's homework that somebody who wants to begin to master networking, what's homework that they can do?
Number one, go to their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so much information on their LinkedIn profile that by the time you finish that, you pretty well know that person real well.
Yeah, and not just look at their banner and not just look at what they
drill down.
Yeah, see the university or the school that they went to, see the philanthropic projects that they were part of. Are they on a board of something? And another thing too that I forget to do, and that's go down and see who's given them
a recommendation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because those are great lead-ins. And when you're having a conversation with them, you're like, hey, I didn't know that Lou Holtz gave you
right.
recommendation, Rob.
Right,
Would you introduce me to Lou Holtz, please? So set a goal. This is number 4 of how many networking appointments you want to set in a week or a month. I know you do that. You're really good about that. Number 5, have a tracking system.
Yes.
Which we have through the Purple Cow Branding website.
Right.
So we need to make sure that that's on networktoday.dfw.com.
Yes.
Note to self. But we do have tracking systems available for you. Because if you can't measure it,
well, you won't find out what the result's going to be.
That's right. There is no result. So 6, develop good relationships with executive recruiters and executive search partners. I thought that was interesting. Why do you think? Why do you think they say that?
Well, I think, too, again, it's an important part of your networking community for the future. You know, you're being proactive here.
Right.
Rather than just having a disaster if you got to change jobs, change careers or whatever, then it's like, whoops, I'm in trouble, versus this, it gives you that, again, that ability to be proactive.
Yeah, a couple of things that they mention here, and I won't go into all of that, but this is a great article, by the way. It's centennialinc.com. I don't think I've ever pulled anything from them. So let's make sure we have the link available down below. But it's because these recruiters typically work in the corporate environment. They know executives. They also know where a client might be having a problem or an industry might be having a problem where they're having a lot of turnover and things like that, right? So if you're in the networking world, those are really key points to know. Number 7, make sure you have a profile on LinkedIn. Duh. I hope that I ran into 2 people last week who don't.
Well,
Really?
I think the biggest sin I think networkers make is just the fact that they do have a LinkedIn profile, but it's just, it's just junk. They haven't fully, completed it. They even tell you that, you're 90% of 100%, but most people, I'm looking at their 10%, 15, 20%. I'm going, come on.
Yeah. Are you linked?
Where does that first impression go? Boom, down the drain.
And beyond that, so once you put up the profile, even if you've got a profile, don't forget about joining groups. Ongoing.
Yes.
That has to be a real point of intention. So number 8, attend networking events. We talk about that a lot. Volunteer in the community. That's not news.
Right.
Number 9, make sure you are known as someone who can be, and this is in bold print, a great resource to others. Be willing to give names, ideas, and suggestions to everyone you meet.
Wow. No, that's a high priority, high priority. We've talked about that with our power team concept and so on.
Yeah.
Very, very important part of your networking.
Absolutely. Number 10, so they worked from kind of the least important to this is what this article believes is the most important, and that's most of all, thank people who have helped you along the way.
Oh, yeah, I probably don't do that enough. I think there's so many great people out there that really have given me great advice. They give me great resources, tips. Yes, that's very important.
Well, even if we feel we're doing it enough, we probably still can't. We're still not doing it enough, right?
Well, and I need to thank you more. You have been a great influence on me, and so I need to thank. So I'm going to thank you right now. Thank you, Sheryl.
Well, thank you, Rob, for thanking me.
So,
I just appreciate the partnership. So, but it is good if we can be intentional about thanking the people around us.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really great article. Again, centennialinc.com. Can I touch on, I'm not going to go through the list because we just went through 10 lists,
right.
but this is a Sandler article that I ran across. Jerry Weinberg,
okay.
GERRYWEINBERG.Sandler.com. And I'm going to just touch on a couple of these things that they said, don't do that to me. Give your business card one at a time, go with a clear goal. So these are all things, right. to just be cognizant of. Go with a clear goal for each event you're going to attend. Give before you receive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to ask you to, while I'm saying these things, and I'm going to go through the next list, tell me what these common threads are between these articles. All right. Ask for a list of attendees prior to the event. I think that's a great one. I don't do it. Use a brief commercial, 10 to 15 seconds, and track your networking activity. All right, so let me go to the next one. This is the last one. This is LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to quickly, rapid fire, go through their list.
Okay.
Finalize. They start with a budgeting process. I thought that was interesting. So, and then set up your business goals. All right. Number 3, define your marketing strategy. 4, outline your networking strategy. And that's how you develop your game plan strategy. Okay, so hearing this between 3 different articles, so that was LinkedIn 101, developing your game plan.
Okay.
Between those 3 articles, what are some common threads that you heard? That you said, okay, if they're all saying it, then that's a must.
Well, I think the number one to me is tracking.
Mm-hmm.
It's keeping the scorecard.
Yeah.
Which again is really big, is one of our resources on Purple Cow Branding. But and it's important to me as a sales rep is I've got to track that information because we get bombarded and we forget, and I still am forgetting. And if I didn't keep the scorecard and track, I'd be way off.
Yeah, that's a good one. But if you're tracking, you've got to have an end goal. And that's what I heard in all 3 of those articles. So from the Lou Holtz article to the LinkedIn to the Sandler article, it was all create a goal.
Right.
So then you can back into your tracking.
Yeah.
Because if you're tracking things, okay, great, I met 3 people. But if my goal was to meet 10, then I'm way off track. Right?
Very important.
But if I don't have a goal written down or a goal established, then 3 looks like, wow, I did 3.
Right. No, that's a very good point.
So those are just some of the things that were off the top of my head. So what are your action items today, sir?
Well, my action items is number 1 is schedule a strategic meeting with yourself.
What?
I'm
going to meet with myself?
Yeah, you got to meet with yourself. You got to time block it, put it on the calendar, because again, with what you said right there, I love, from all those 3 articles, so much information. You have got to create that plan, to create those goals, to track everything. You've got to spend that time with yourself to do it all. And too many people, I think, blow that part off. And they don't do it. They're doing a lot of good things, but if you're not tracking it, they're going to forget about it, because next week they're doing the same thing over and over again. Number 2, you need to keep your scorecard.
Yeah.
Which we talked about. What you're talking, that end goal. You got make those goals and then track it.
Yeah.
So, and number 3 is and this is more from a game day point of view, is that when you've done the hard work, you've done the practice, you're out there, it's time to win the game. Spend some time on how are you going to stand out in the crowd from your competitors. What are some of the things you can, have a better elevator pitch, have a great new tagline, dress differently, design your business card differently. So something that on game day that you've got this whole thing of standing out, and you're going to beat your competition.
Yes, I think a great way to do it, Rob, and I've seen some people recently really adopt this, and I think it's great, is we're talking about giving. And several of those lists talked about be sure you give,
right.
Be a resource. So giving at a networking event is a great way to stand out, and you can adjust it. It's easy to print and do it differently weekly, right? So print off a card, a flyer with a QR code that sends somebody to a new event, something that's cool, a grand opening, a ribbon cutting, or maybe something that you're hosting that would be free, right? That is a really great resource.
Oh, I like that.
And it helps you rope people into your circle. Now now I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm not trying to,
Right.
No,
I
hey,
like
Rob,
that.
would you buy something from me today?
Yeah.
Now I'm saying, hey, I want to be a resource and help you grow.
Right.
And anybody else that you know grow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So so I think that could be one of those ways that networkers could stand out. But as I'm watching the Cowboys game, and happens to be the beginning of a good season, who knows where it'll end. But it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
And it is an ongoing commitment, daily. You need to take some time off, a day, a week or a month sometimes. But it has to be ongoing. And we have to always work to intentionally gain new skills.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I mean, he's like crazy, the level of intensity. But do you know why he's so good, or one of the reasons? I mean, he's gifted, obviously.
Well, one of the things I read about in the offseason was how he was like working out, and he was hiring coaches to help him get better. I mean, he did so much work in the offseason that he knew he was already good, but he wanted to be the greatest.
Boxing. So he took up boxing,
yes,
and then I heard that
yes.
either he's in or going into jiu-jitsu. So those things, cross-promoting yourself with other people, can be a great way to be more well-rounded and grow yourself and your skill set.
Absolutely.
So just saying, I want to be Micah Parsons of networking. I don't know how that can happen, but I'm willing to give it a try. All right. So again, like and subscribe, please. That just makes us all warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
And cheers, my friend.
All right.
To another great episode. More to come next week. We're at Network Today, where we take you from meeting people to
making money
faster. And we'll see you next week.